Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, Call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Recha HaKodash, and double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and rule well, and Shalom to the hopeful elect, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Recha HaKodash, Barakatham. It's the brother Kazah from the Medaval 12 West Coast, coming back at it again with another lesson, and the title of this lesson is going to be, China Wants to Smoke. All right, it's going to be watching the times and, basically going into the situation between China and Taiwan, all right, where China wants to reunify with Taiwan. It wants Taiwan, the island, to be part of its territory again, and ultimately they're doing this in a very, military aggressive fashion. All right, so it wouldn't come no surprise if we see, China annex Taiwan, very much like we saw Russia annex that part of Ukraine, I believe it's called Crimea, in the past. All right, because that's what this thing is leading up to, and who knows what this could build off into, man. Lord willing, it escalates into something that could get us out of here quicker, man. All right, for some reason this thing doesn't want to go down, but anyways, we're gonna go into this article, because this thing also started about 5 days ago. All right, where I saw this on the post here in RT, where it says the Chinese send 77 warplanes into Taiwan defense zone over 2 days. You see? So, and this happened about 5 days ago. They sent 77 warplanes, and some of them were nuclear capable. All right, they were the H-6 bombers. Okay? So, you see the spirit that these Moabites are in, man. All right, they want to smoke. And to further show this, we're going to go into the article. All right, so it says 25 Chinese fighter jets, bombers, and other warplanes flew in menacing formations off the southern end of Taiwan, a show of military might on China's National Day, October 1st. The incursions, dozens upon dozens, continued into the night and the days that followed and surged to the highest numbers ever on Monday. It's like on Monday when 56 warplanes tested Taiwan's beleaguered air defenses. You see? So they were just sending planes all over Taiwan. Basically letting them know what time it is, man. Taiwan's jets scrambled to keep up, while the United States warned China that its provocative military activity undermined regional peace and stability. All right. So, the U.S. obviously, because they're backing up China, not backing up China, backing up Taiwan. All right. They had a word to say about that. But guess what? China did not cower. When the Taiwanese combat air traffic controller radioed one Chinese aircraft, the pilot dismissed the challenge with an obscenity involving the officer's mother. So these these Moabites want to smoke, man. All right, and that's the spirit that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is putting on these nations to defy the whore, to defy Babylon. Let the weak say, I am strong. All right, and to further show that, okay, we're gonna jump down, because a lot of I went through this article. A lot of it is it's just miscellaneous. What he said, she said. But anyways, look at this. And China now acts with increasing confidence, in part because many officials, including Mr. Xi, hold the view that American power has faltered. You see? So they're not looking at Babylon like the big bully that it once was. All right, because when Babylon was the only country, the only place with nuclear capability, everybody bowed down. Everybody, stooped down, because, they weren't trying to get nuked at the time. But now everybody has nukes. Iran is developing their nuclear missiles. North Korea has nuclear capabilities. You have the Russians that they've been had their nuclear capabilities. All right. So you see the spirit that these nations have now. Okay, I'm going to read this again. China now acts with increasing confidence. All right, and also in part because of what happened in Afghanistan, how Joe Biden he called back the troops, and look what happened over there. It fell into complete chaos. Not really complete chaos. It just got taken over, very swiftly by the Taliban. But such actions are a display of such actions are a display of less strength, of weakness. Okay, that goes to show you the how these other nations feel. All right, in part because many officials, including Mr. Xi. Now that Mr. Xi, that's the leader of China. All right, that's the king of China. I don't know, their actual title. I don't know if he's a dictator or a president or prime. I think it's prime minister. I'm not too sure. But he even believes that the American power has faltered. All right, and it's the United States failures with the Crown V, with the Crown V and its political upheavals have reinforced such views. Okay, because look what happened to Afghanistan. I believe it's merely that. Look how they handled the situation with Afghanistan. They just pulled back all them troops, and then Afghanistan went right back into the Taliban hands. It goes to show you that the U.S. is weak now. And in their minds, they're thinking, okay, well, hey man, if we invade China, they probably wouldn't even send them. That's like if we invade Taiwan, they probably wouldn't even send anybody over here. They don't want the smoke. All right. And this next paragraph also, goes in on that. It says some advisors and former officers in China argue that the U.S. that the U.S. no longer has the will to send forces if a war were to break out over Taiwan. You see? So they believe, hey, look, man, if we invade Taiwan, they won't even bother us. That's the spirit that they have. Under the right conditions, others suggested, the People's Liberation Army could prevail if it did. All right? And look what they're coming out saying. With the United States court death for Taiwan. So these Moabites want the smoke, man. All right? That's what he said on the. This dude was a former Chinese Navy captain. Yo, these Moabites are not bluffing. Okay, they're not like one of these little, countries that the U.S. could bully. China is a superpower. China has its own nuclear capabilities, let alone its own military capabilities, and not just that, but China's also allied with Russia. So you know what time it is, man. All right. So let me see if there's anything I'm missing out on. All right, because I'm probably just gonna go right to the scriptures after this. I think there was actually this one point around here, that talked about how they staged these war games, and basically in these war games, this article mentioned that the U.S. was struggling to fight the Chinese because the Chinese had advanced their technology. So that also gave these Moabites that boost in confidence as well. That they could take on the U.S. But that's let me see. I don't know exactly where it was at. All right, but hey, man, it's cool. We're just gonna get the scriptures. All right, let's go into that. I am strong. All right, so it's the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. And it reads, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. prepare war. And that's what they have been doing. They've been putting in so much money on their military. All right, billions of dollars. They've been putting it into their military. And I believe that's what the article goes into as well. All right, just have to find it. You know what I'm saying? I think it was another article too. You know, but hold on. I think it's actually below that. There we go. All right, so it says, since then, China's leaders have poured money into the People's Liberations Army, the PLA. That's the Chinese military. All right, it says in a decade, military spending grew by 76%, reaching 252 billion in 2020, according to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. The U.S. spent 778 billion on its military last year. All right, so here it is. They went from I don't know how much they went from, but they're putting in a lot of money too. All right, Mr. Xi also reorganized the military, raising the status of naval and air forces and pushing commanders to master joint warfare. All right, now these two branches are very important considering the location of China. Okay, because China doesn't really have a quarrel, westward. Their quarrel is more on the Pacific front. All right, so they need that Navy and they need that Air Force. Okay. And they got Russia up north defending them, from the north. So that's what they really need. So this is strategic. All right. But let's go back into this. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. All right, because that's Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai putting the spirit on these nations. Okay, to go against each other. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. All right, and that's what they have done. Okay, now they're not just saying this, but they are displaying this. Here it is. You have Taiwan, the island of Taiwan. It is a country, all right, that's backed by the U.S. And now China wants it back, and they're sending their planes over it. Some of these planes are nuclear capable. All right, some of these planes are nuclear capable. That's aggression. So it would come to no surprise if, we see China annex Taiwan like we saw Russia annex Crimea in the past. Okay, it will come to no surprise. All right, but guess what? That would only spin things in the direction that is prophesied. All right, that would only, if that were to happen, if this was to really how do I put it to you? If this was to really build up and build up and build up, it would all be prophetic. Okay, because it's going to be a big war that's going to happen among these different nations. All right, a very big war. And it reads, assemble yourselves and come together, and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Let the heathen be awakened, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. You see? That's ultimately what's going to happen. All right? That's ultimately what's going to end up happening with these other nations, man. They're all going to fight each other. Okay? Because they all want that top spot. But guess what? Jacob is going to be the beginning of it that followeth, man. All right? Esau's at the top spot right now. He's ruling. That's why he has the power to oppress a man in his own heritage. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because here it is, the Chinese is trying to get their land back, but Esau doesn't want them to, and Esau wants to demonize them and talk about, how they're doing this. But Esau turns around and does the same thing. That's why the joy, as scripture said, the joy of the hypocrite is before a moment, because this time of ruling is short-lived. We're seeing the final stages of this devil's rulership. All right. So let's hit the New Testament. Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 24. Let's go to verse 6. All right, or matter of fact, let's go to verse 7, where it reads, "For the nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." And you know what? We're seeing all this. All right, we are seeing these things. All right, nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. We're seeing these things. Famines. There's one in Ethiopia, and there's going to be one here in Babylon. Pestilences. Look, man, they just unearthed out there in the eastern part of as a spirit, the video had to chime in, you know what I'm saying? But they just unearthed they just unearthed these skeletons that had traces of the bubonic plague. It was like one of the original traces of the bubonic plague, man. So what does that tell you? That the Lord is about to unleash pestilences all over the world. And what does that say? And earthquakes. All right. There's been a lot of earthquakes happening in recent times in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. You see? And you got that volcano blowing up there off the coast of Spain, man. All right. So these are the times that we're in. Okay. But this is more centered around, the wars, So with that, I'm going to finish up with this. All right. The book of Revelations, chapter 11, verse 14. And it reads, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." All right. That's what's going on. The third woe is coming. Okay. If anything, I might rename the lesson into that instead. The third woe is coming. All right. And that is the prophecy. All right. These are the words that are prophesied. They will not return unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai void, but they will accomplish that which he pleases. Okay. There is no healing Babylon. She is destroyed. All right. So with that, I'm going to say, call halal Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Racha HaKodash. Forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. And Lord willing, it was edifying unto the Akim. All right, with that, I'm going to say shalom.